Micro Moves, Macro Wealth. The Power of Small Actions. Written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. Before you dive into this book, ask yourself, what if the secret to building wealth wasn't a big, bold leap, but a series of seemingly small, intentional steps? What if the habits and actions you take today, tiny and manageable, could become the foundation of financial independence tomorrow? Micro Moves, Macro Wealth. The Power of Small Actions is your guide to harnessing the compounding power of everyday decisions. Imagine two friends, Mia and Jacob, sitting at a coffee shop. They both earn the same income, live in the same neighborhood, and dream of financial freedom. 10 years later, their lives look completely different. Mia has built a robust investment portfolio, owns her home outright, and has started a small side business that now pays for her dream vacations. Jacob, on the other hand, is still living paycheck to paycheck, juggling credit card debt, and feeling stuck in the same job he despised a decade ago. What happened? Was Mia just lucky? Did Jacob fall victim to bad circumstances? The truth lies in the small, invisible actions each took every day. While Jacob often dismissed small habits as insignificant, telling himself he'd start saving next month or invest when things were better, Mia leaned into the power of micro moves. She committed to small, consistent actions, setting aside just $5 a day, researching low-cost investment strategies on her lunch break, and automating her bills to avoid late fees. Over time, those tiny choices didn't just add up, they multiplied. This is the power of micro moves. They're not flashy or glamorous, but they wield the same magic as drops of water eroding a mountain, or planting seeds that one day transform into a lush forest. In this book, you'll learn how to identify, execute, and sustain the small actions that lead to significant financial and personal growth. We're often told success comes from grand gestures or life-changing moments. But the reality? Most success stories are built on the back of habits so small they're almost imperceptible. Whether your goal is to grow wealth, launch a business, or simply feel in control of your financial future, this book will show you how to harness the extraordinary potential of micro moves to unlock macro wealth. Welcome to a journey where every small action becomes the building block of your legacy. Let's start small and think big. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Small Choices That Shape Big Futures. Have you ever stopped to think how the tiniest decisions, the ones you barely notice, are quietly crafting your future? Imagine this. If you save $5 every day starting today, by the end of the year you'd have nearly $2,000. Over 10 years, with a little interest, that number balloons into something remarkable. Now imagine applying this principle to every area of your life. What kind of future could you build with small, consistent actions? Meet Alina. At 28, she was drowning in student debt, earning barely enough to cover her bills, and living with a constant undercurrent of financial anxiety. She felt stuck, staring at the mountain of debt she'd accumulated while chasing her degree. For years she believed the only way out was a miracle, winning the lottery, landing a six-figure job, or inheriting money. None of those things happened. Instead, she stumbled upon the concept of micro moves. It started innocently enough. She automated a $10 transfer to her savings account each week. It wasn't much, but it was manageable. A month later, she decided to pack her lunch 3 days a week instead of buying takeout, saving an extra $30 a week. She used that money to chip away at her smallest credit card balance, creating a snowball effect that started freeing her from debt. Fast forward 5 years, Elena is debt-free, has $15,000 in investments, and is planning her first home purchase. What changed? The small moves she started making 5 years earlier compounded into life-altering outcomes. She didn't win the lottery, she won the game of consistency. Elena's story might sound extraordinary, but it's a universal truth. Small actions repeated consistently create ripples that grow into waves of change. Financial experts often emphasize big wins, maximizing investment returns, negotiating salaries, or hitting a major jackpot. While those can be impactful, they're not the only path to success. Consider this: small moves operate like drops of water carving a canyon. Each drop seems inconsequential in isolation, but over time, the steady stream reshapes the landscape entirely. Psychologists call this the compounding effect, where the results of small habits and decisions multiply exponentially over time. It's human nature to underestimate the power of small steps. We're wired for instant gratification, craving results now rather than investing in outcomes that take years to manifest. Social media doesn't help, it's filled with stories of people who appear to achieve success overnight, making our slow, incremental progress feel inadequate. But the truth is, those overnight successes are usually the result of years of unseen effort. The real secret isn't in the grand gestures but in the quiet, deliberate actions taken every day. The beauty of micro moves lies in their simplicity. They don't require a complete life overhaul or significant sacrifices. Here's how you can start. 1. Pick one small action. What's one thing you can do today that feels effortless? It could be as simple as saving $1, skipping a daily coffee, or walking for 10 minutes. 2. Automate it. Use technology to make it happen consistently. Set up automatic transfers, reminders, or schedules so you don't have to rely on willpower. 3. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. Did you save $10 this week? Mark it as a victory and keep going. 4. Build gradually. Once the first action feels natural, add another. Over time, these habits will stack on top of each other, creating momentum. Every great journey begins with a single step. Every massive fortune starts with the first dollar saved. The small choices you make today will define your future tomorrow. What micro move can you commit to right now? Because here's the truth, there's no such thing as insignificant progress. Each step forward brings you closer to the life you want. And as you'll see in the chapters ahead, those steps have the power to transform not just your bank account but every area of your life. Chapter 2. Breaking the myth of overnight success. What do Beyoncé, Jeff Bezos, and your favorite YouTuber have in common? They all appear to have achieved their success overnight. But dig deeper, and you'll find years, sometimes decades, of relentless effort, small wins, and countless failures leading up to their big break. The myth of overnight success is one of the most dangerous lies we tell ourselves. It makes us impatient, frustrated, and blind to the power of small, consistent actions. Picture Liam, a 24-year-old graphic designer. After watching a viral YouTube video about someone earning 6 figures selling online courses, he decided to try his luck. He poured all his energy into creating a course in 3 weeks, confident it would be an instant hit. When the sales didn't flood in, he gave up, assuming he wasn't cut out for success. What Liam didn't realize was that the creator he idolized had spent years building an audience, improving their craft, and understanding their market. The polished success Liam saw was just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath it were thousands of small, unglamorous steps that built a foundation for the overnight success. The world loves a dramatic success story. Headlines scream about people who made it big seemingly out of nowhere. But let's pull back the curtain. Beyoncé spent years performing with Destiny's Child, rehearsing for countless hours, and honing her craft before her solo stardom. Jeff Bezos worked in finance and developed Amazon in his garage, slowly expanding his empire through methodical growth. That YouTuber with millions of subscribers? They likely spent years creating videos with little traction before their first big hit. The truth is, the overnight success is a myth born of selective storytelling. It's not the result of one massive leap but thousands of micro moves executed with relentless consistency. Why do we cling to the idea of instant success? For one, it's a comforting shortcut. The idea of a single breakthrough is far more appealing than the thought of years of hard work. Social media amplifies this illusion, showcasing highlight reels instead of the unfiltered grind. This myth, however, is dangerous. It tricks us into thinking that success should be immediate, and when it's not, we feel like failures. It blinds us to the real, sustainable path to achievement: small, incremental progress. Success is like planting a seed. You water it daily, tend to the soil, and wait patiently for it to grow. At first it seems like nothing is happening. Then, one day, a sprout emerges. Over time, it grows into a towering tree. Take Jane, for example. Jane was a freelance writer struggling to find consistent clients. Instead of giving up, she decided to send 5 cold pitches daily to potential clients. It seemed futile at first. Weeks passed with no response. But by the 3rd month, she landed a client. Then another. By the end of the year, her income had doubled. Jane's breakthrough wasn't magic. It was the result of small, consistent actions. She didn't wait for one massive opportunity. She created her success through steady, deliberate effort. Breaking free from the myth of overnight success requires a mindset shift. Here's how. 1. Focus on process over outcomes. Instead of obsessing over the end goal, fall in love with the daily actions that lead there. If you're building a business, focus on creating value, engaging with customers, and improving your skills. 2. Celebrate small wins. Success isn't just the big moments. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how small: a new follower, a small profit, or even finishing a task you've been avoiding. 3. Learn from the best. Study the stories of successful people. Pay attention to the years of effort and sacrifice that preceded their success. It's a humbling reminder that greatness is built, not given. 4. Stay consistent. The most important trait of successful people isn't talent or luck, it's consistency. Showing up daily, even when it feels like nothing is happening, is the ultimate superpower. Let's return to Liam. After understanding the work behind the scenes, he decided to approach his online course differently. Instead of expecting immediate results, he committed to creating content weekly and building trust with his audience. A year later, Liam's course became a bestseller, not because he worked harder than before but because he worked smarter. He focused on small, consistent actions that created long-term value. You don't have to wait for a breakthrough moment to start building success. The journey begins with the micro moves you make today. Ask yourself, what's one small step you can take toward your goal? How can you create momentum through consistency? Because here's the secret: the real magic isn't in the spotlight moments, it's in the quiet grind, the unseen effort, and the persistence to keep going when no one is watching. Chapter 3. The compounding effect of daily habits. What if I told you that by improving just 1% every day, you could be 37 times better by the end of the year? That's the math of compounding, a concept so powerful it's reshaped empires, personal fortunes, and even human potential. Yet, it's not magic. It's the simple result of consistent daily habits stacking up over time. Are you ready to unlock this transformative principle in your own life? Let's start with a story. Alex was an average employee at a mid-sized company. His mornings were chaotic, his diet was a mess, and he rarely exercised. At the end of each day, he felt drained, stuck, and uninspired. One day he stumbled across the concept of micro moves and decided to make a change, but instead of a sweeping overhaul, Alex focused on one habit, starting his day by journaling for 5 minutes. This single action sparked a domino effect. Journaling gave him clarity, which led him to improve his time management. Better time management freed up space for exercise, which boosted his energy and focus at work. Within a year, Alex had earned a promotion, lost 15 pounds, and even started his first investment portfolio. None of this happened overnight. Alex's transformation was the result of small daily habits compounding into massive life changes. What makes habits so powerful? Neuroscience tells us that habits are formed through repeated actions that rewire the brain. When you engage in a behavior consistently, your brain builds neural pathways that make it easier to repeat the behavior in the future. Over time, these pathways become automatic. Habits, however, are neutral. They can work for you or against you. Bad habits compound negatively, like credit card debt accumulating interest. Good habits, on the other hand, generate exponential returns, like planting seeds that grow into a thriving garden. When it comes to wealth building, habits are everything. Here are 3 small but transformative financial habits you can start today. 1. Automated savings. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to savings. Even $10 a week compounds into a meaningful amount over time. 2. Daily financial check-ins. Spend 5 minutes reviewing your finances, check your bank balance, track expenses, and plan for upcoming bills. Awareness is the first step to control. 3. Micro-investing. Use apps that allow you to invest small amounts like spare change. Over time, these micro-investments can grow into a substantial portfolio. Each of these habits is simple and low effort but creates compounding benefits that can transform your financial future. Financial success often mirrors personal growth. Small habits like reading 10 pages of a book daily, practicing gratitude, or dedicating 15 minutes to learning a new skill can create monumental shifts in mindset and capability. For example, consider Mia, a high school teacher who decided to dedicate just 10 minutes a day to learning a new language. A year later, she was fluent enough in Spanish to start teaching bilingual courses, earning her a significant pay raise. What seemed like a minor commitment at first led to a life-changing opportunity. Here's the catch: small habits are deceptively easy to dismiss. They don't feel impactful in the moment. Saving $5, skipping one sugary drink, or exercising for 5 minutes might seem insignificant. But the compounding effect is what transforms these micro moves into macro results. This is why consistency is critical. Habits require time to reach their tipping point, where the compounding effect becomes visible. Most people quit too early, abandoning habits before they've had a chance to pay off. Here's a proven framework for creating habits that stick. 1. Start small. Begin with something so easy you can't fail. Instead of running a mile, commit to putting on your running shoes. 2. Attach it to an existing habit. Use a habit you already do as an anchor. For example, floss right after brushing your teeth or review your budget during your morning coffee. 3. Track your progress. Use a habit tracker to visualize your consistency. Seeing streaks builds momentum and motivates you to continue. 4. Reward yourself. Celebrate small wins. Treat yourself after hitting milestones to reinforce the habit. Imagine a giant flywheel, a heavy metal disc. At first, pushing it takes enormous effort, and it barely moves. But as you keep pushing consistently, the wheel starts spinning faster and faster, and faster, until it generates unstoppable momentum. Habits are your flywheel. Each small action is a push, and over time, the momentum becomes self-sustaining. What starts as effort transforms into effortless progress. What's one small habit you can commit to right now? Choose something simple but meaningful, something you can sustain daily. Write it down, anchor it to an existing habit, and track your progress for the next 30 days. Because here's the truth: success isn't built in leaps, it's built in steps, repeated consistently over time. And the sooner you start, the sooner you'll experience the extraordinary power of compounding in your own life. Chapter 4. Building Wealth Through Micro-Financial Moves. How would your financial future look if you made just one small, smart money decision every day? A dollar saved, an investment made, or a debt paid down. These micro moves may seem trivial in isolation, but when compounded over time, they can transform your bank account, your confidence, and your life. This chapter is your blueprint for wealth building through tiny, consistent actions. Take Jordan, a single parent working a modest office job. For years, Jordan struggled with finances, often feeling overwhelmed by the mounting bills and lack of savings. One day, Jordan heard a simple piece of advice: pay yourself first, even if it's just $5. Starting small, Jordan automated a $5 transfer into a high-yield savings account each week. Over time, Jordan increased the amount to $10, then $20, as budgeting improved. 5 years later, that account held over $5,000, not counting the interest it earned. This small financial habit not only created a safety net but also gave Jordan the confidence to explore investing, leading to further growth. Jordan's journey shows that financial success doesn't start with massive windfalls or big leaps. It begins with micro-financial moves that add up over time. Step 1. Master your cash flow. Before you can build wealth, you need to understand where your money is going. Here's how to take control. 1. Track your spending. Use an app, spreadsheet, or even a notebook to log every expense for 1 month. Awareness is the first step to transformation. 2. Create a micro-budget. Instead of a complicated budget, focus on one small rule: spend less than you earn. Use categories like needs, wants, and savings, but keep it simple to start. 3. Eliminate the drains. Identify small, recurring expenses you can cut without sacrificing quality of life: unused subscriptions, expensive coffee runs, or impulse purchases. Redirect those dollars toward your financial goals. Step 2. Automate your savings. Automation is your best friend when it comes to building wealth. Small, consistent savings become effortless when they're automatic. Start small. If $5 a week is all you can manage, that's enough. The goal is to establish the habit. Use high-yield accounts. Maximize your savings by using accounts that offer interest to compound your money. Set and forget. Schedule automatic transfers to your savings or investment accounts to make wealth building a no-brainer. Step 3. Micro-investing for beginners. Investing often feels intimidating, but you don't need a fortune to get started. Thanks to modern tools, even the smallest amounts can grow significantly over time. 1. Start with spare change apps. Use apps like Acorns or Stash to round up your purchases and invest the difference. Over time, these micro-investments build momentum. 2. Dollar cost averaging. Invest a fixed amount consistently regardless of market conditions. This strategy minimizes risk and helps your portfolio grow steadily. 3. Low-cost index funds. Index funds are a beginner-friendly way to invest in the market's growth. Look for funds with low fees to maximize your returns. Step 4. Tackle debt with micropayments. Debt can feel like a heavy chain, but micro moves can help you break free. Apply small, unexpected amounts like a $10 rebate or a $20 side gig payment toward your debt. Snowball method. Focus on paying off your smallest debt first while making minimum payments on others. This builds momentum and confidence. Negotiate rates. Call your creditors to request lower interest rates or payment plans. Even small reductions can save you significant money over time. Step 5. Build your emergency fund. Life is unpredictable, and an emergency fund is your safety net. Start small. Save $500 as your first milestone, covering minor, unexpected expenses. Gradually aim for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Use micro moves, like rounding up transactions or saving $1 a day, to build your fund painlessly. Once you start taking small financial actions, the benefits ripple out into every area of your life. You'll sleep better knowing you have a safety net. You'll feel empowered to make decisions, like starting a business or investing in your education. And you'll inspire those around you to take control of their finances too. Consider Emily, a young professional who used micro moves to save $10,000 over 3 years. That money became her launchpad for a small side business. Today, Emily runs a successful online shop, a dream she wouldn't have pursued without the confidence her savings gave her. What's one small financial move you can make today? Choose something manageable but meaningful. Automate a $5 savings transfer. Cancel an unused subscription. Invest $10 in a low-cost index fund. Because here's the truth, wealth isn't built in a day. It's built in the quiet moments when you choose progress over perfection, small actions over big leaps. Chapter 5. The Power of Micro. Investments in yourself. What's the one investment that guarantees a return, no matter the market conditions? You. Investing in yourself is the most transformative micro move you can make. Every skill you learn, every book you read, and every moment you spend refining your craft compounds into exponential growth. The question isn't whether you can afford to invest in yourself, it's whether you can afford not to. Meet Sam, a middle manager in a tech company. For years, Sam coasted, doing just enough to maintain the status quo. But deep down, he felt stagnant, knowing he was capable of more. One day, Sam decided to make a small change, dedicating 15 minutes every morning to reading about leadership and communication. This tiny commitment had a snowball effect. Sam started applying what he learned, impressing his team and senior management. 6 months later, he was promoted. By consistently investing in his growth, Sam unlocked not only a higher salary but also newfound confidence and opportunities. Knowledge is one of the most powerful compounding assets you'll ever own. Every skill you acquire and every idea you absorb builds on the foundation of what you already know. It's like adding bricks to a house. Each brick strengthens the structure, making it more valuable over time. Think of Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of all time. He attributes much of his success to his relentless commitment to reading and learning. Buffett once said, "The more you learn, the more you earn." Small, consistent investments in knowledge can pay dividends for a lifetime. How to start micro-investing in yourself. 1. Learn one new skill at a time. Choose a skill that aligns with your goals, whether it's public speaking, coding, or creative writing. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes a day to practice. Over a year, this adds up to over 60 hours of focused growth. 2. Leverage free or low-cost resources. You don't need a hefty budget to invest in yourself. Start with free podcasts, YouTube tutorials, or affordable online courses. These micro-investments of time can yield tremendous value. 3. Expand your network. Building relationships is an investment in social capital. Reach out to a mentor, join a professional group, or attend virtual events. Small, intentional actions to connect with others can lead to opportunities you never imagined. 4. Focus on health and wellness. Investing in your body and mind lays the foundation for all other achievements. Simple habits like walking 20 minutes a day, drinking more water, or meditating can boost energy, focus, and resilience. Many people hesitate to invest in themselves because they feel their efforts will never add up. But this mindset ignores the compounding effect of consistency. Take Layla, for example, who dreamed of becoming a graphic designer but lacked formal training. Instead of waiting for the perfect time to enroll in a degree program, she started with free online tutorials, learning one tool at a time. Within a year, Layla had a portfolio good enough to land her first freelance clients. What seemed like a modest start turned into a flourishing career, all because she chose to begin where she was, with what she had. Investing in yourself doesn't just yield financial returns, it builds confidence, opens doors to opportunities, and enhances your ability to create value for others. Imagine spending 30 minutes a day learning a skill like copywriting or data analysis. After a year, you could use that skill to start a profitable side hustle, earn a promotion, or pivot to a more fulfilling career. The time you spend improving yourself compounds in ways that can transform your future. Practical tools for investing in yourself. To maximize the impact of your self-investment, use these tools. Daily habit tracker. Keep yourself accountable by tracking small daily actions. Online platforms. Explore sites like Coursera, Skillshare, or LinkedIn Learning for affordable courses. Journaling. Reflect on what you're learning and how you can apply it. Mastermind groups. Surround yourself with others who share your goals and ambitions to accelerate growth. Meet Priya, a customer service representative with dreams of becoming a team leader. She decided to focus on improving by just 1% every day. Priya started by listening to leadership podcasts during her commute and reading one article on management techniques each evening. These micro moves compounded into noticeable improvements in her performance and confidence. Within a year, Priya had not only been promoted but was mentoring others in her department. Her story highlights the profound impact of small, intentional investments in personal growth. Self-investment doesn't require a massive overhaul of your life. Start with one small step. Dedicate 15 minutes to learning something new. Reach out to someone you admire for advice. Make a small health commitment, like stretching for 5 minutes each morning. Remember, every small move compounds into something bigger. The sooner you start investing in yourself, the sooner you'll see the returns in your life and career. Chapter 6. Small steps to strengthen relationships. What's the most valuable currency in the world? Not money, but trust. Strong relationships, personal, professional, and social, are the foundation of true wealth. But how do you build and maintain these connections in a world that often feels transactional? The answer lies in small, consistent acts of care, attention, and generosity. Let's explore how micro moves can create macro wealth in your relationships. Consider Marcus, a young entrepreneur who struggled to gain traction for his business. Frustrated, he decided to focus less on selling and more on building genuine relationships. He made it a habit to send a thoughtful email, a handwritten note, or even a quick check-in message to someone in his network every day. Over time, Marcus built a reputation as someone who genuinely cared. When he launched his next product, his network rallied around him, sharing his work with their own audiences. What started as small gestures transformed into opportunities Marcus couldn't have achieved alone. Why do small actions matter so much in relationships? Psychologists explain it through the principle of reciprocity. When you show kindness or thoughtfulness, people naturally want to reciprocate. This creates a positive feedback loop, strengthening the bond. Small actions, like remembering someone's name, congratulating them on an achievement, or simply listening attentively, signal that you value the relationship. Over time, these micro moves build trust and loyalty, the cornerstones of meaningful connections. Micro moves to strengthen personal relationships. 1. Express gratitude regularly. Make it a habit to thank your partner, friend, or family member for something specific. For example, thank you for always being there to listen. It means a lot. 2. Be present. Give your undivided attention during conversations. Put away your phone, maintain eye contact, and listen without interrupting. 3. Celebrate small wins. Whether it's a promotion, a personal milestone, or a small victory, take time to celebrate the achievements of those around you. A quick note or a heartfelt compliment can mean the world. 4. Perform random acts of kindness. Surprise someone with a small but meaningful gesture, a handwritten note, a favorite snack, or an offer to help with something they're struggling with. 1. Check in consistently. A quick message or email can work wonders for keeping connections strong. A simple, "I came across this article and thought of you," not only shows thoughtfulness but also keeps the door open for future conversations. Small, intentional gestures like these breathe life into your professional relationships. 2. Give without expecting. Share a helpful resource, offer advice, or lend a hand, no strings attached. When you give genuinely, you build trust and goodwill, positioning yourself as someone others want to collaborate with and support. These small acts of generosity create lasting bonds. 3. Recognize contributions. Acknowledge the efforts and achievements of your team or peers, even for small wins. A simple great job on that report can build morale and trust. 4. Build networks one step at a time. Attend events, join professional groups, or participate in online forums. Commit to making one meaningful connection at each event instead of trying to meet everyone. Strong relationships don't just enrich your life, they open doors. Consider Emma, a freelancer who prioritized building relationships with her clients. She sent personalized holiday cards, remembered important dates, and regularly checked in to see how she could help. When a major contract opened up, Emma's name was the first on their list. The opportunities that come from strong relationships often feel serendipitous, but they're not. They're the result of intentional, consistent effort to nurture connections over time. Building relationships can feel daunting, especially if you're shy, busy, or unsure where to start. Here's how to overcome common barriers. 1. Start small. Reach out to one person a week. A simple thinking of you message can spark meaningful conversations. 2. Be genuine. Authenticity matters. Focus on building real connections rather than trying to impress others. 3. Schedule it. Set aside 10 minutes daily to nurture relationships. Use this time to send messages, make calls, or write thank you notes. When you prioritize relationships, the benefits extend far beyond what you can measure. You create a network of people who support, uplift, and advocate for you. These connections enrich your life emotionally, open doors professionally, and even provide unexpected opportunities. Think of relationships like a garden. Small acts of care, watering, weeding, and nurturing, may not yield immediate results, but over time, they produce a flourishing ecosystem of trust, love, and support. Identify one person in your life, personal or professional, and make a small effort to strengthen your connection. It could be a text to check in, a compliment, or a gesture of support. Commit to one small act each day for a week and observe how it transforms your relationships. Because here's the truth, wealth isn't just financial. It's measured in the quality of the connections you build, and the richest relationships are created one small step at a time. Chapter 7. Overcoming barriers to consistency. What's the hardest part about micro moves? It's not the effort required, it's sticking with them when the initial excitement fades. Consistency is the secret sauce that turns small actions into transformative results. Yet, it's also the biggest challenge. How do you stay the course when distractions, self-doubt, and life's chaos try to pull you off track? Meet Sarah, a marketing professional who wanted to improve her financial habits. She started strong, setting up automated savings and cutting unnecessary expenses. For the first month, she was thrilled with her progress. Then life happened. A medical bill derailed her budget, her motivation waned, and she fell back into old habits. Sarah had encountered the dip, the moment when initial enthusiasm fades and the grind of consistency begins. This is where most people give up, assuming they lack the discipline to succeed. But here's the truth, the dip is part of the process. Learning how to navigate it is what separates those who thrive from those who stall. To stay consistent, it's essential to understand why it feels difficult. 1. The brain loves instant gratification. Small actions often don't yield immediate results, making it hard for the brain to see their value. 2. Fear of failure. When setbacks happen, it's easy to feel like a failure and abandon the effort altogether. 3. Overwhelm. When life gets busy, small habits can feel insignificant and easy to neglect. 4. Lack of visibility. Progress often feels invisible in the early stages, making it hard to stay motivated. Strategies to stay consistent. 1. Make it effortless. The easier the habit, the harder it is to skip. For example, instead of committing to a 30-minute workout, start with 5 minutes of stretching. Lowering the bar ensures you take action even on tough days. 2. Anchor habits to triggers. Pair your new habit with something you already do. For example, save spare change every time you make a purchase or floss immediately after brushing your teeth. 3. Use visual cues. Keep your goals front and center. Use sticky notes, phone reminders, or a habit tracker to reinforce the habit. Seeing progress builds momentum. 4. Set tiny milestones. Break your ultimate goal into micro goals. Celebrate every small win to keep your motivation alive. 5. Plan for setbacks. Anticipate obstacles and create a plan to overcome them. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Focus on restarting as soon as possible. Consistency becomes easier when your actions align with your identity. Instead of focusing on outcomes, think about the person you're becoming. For example, instead of saying, "I'm trying to save money," say, "I'm a saver." This subtle shift reinforces the habit as part of who you are, making it harder to abandon. Marcus, a busy father and aspiring entrepreneur, struggled with consistency in his side hustle. He'd often start a new project with enthusiasm, only to lose steam when progress felt slow. One day he decided to simplify his approach. Instead of aiming to work 2 hours a day, Marcus committed to just 10 minutes. This small, manageable goal removed the pressure and helped him build momentum. Over time, the 10 minutes often turned into an hour. Within a year, Marcus had launched his first product, proving that consistency, even in small doses, creates results. One of the biggest consistency killers is self-doubt. It's the voice in your head that says, "What's the point?" or "I'll never get this right." Here's how to silence it. 1. Focus on progress, not perfection. Remember, consistency doesn't mean being perfect. Missing a day doesn't erase your efforts. The key is to keep going. 2. Embrace the long game. Remind yourself that micro moves compound over time. The results may not be visible today, but they will be tomorrow. 3. Track backwards. When you feel like you're not making progress, look back at where you started. Recognizing even small improvements can reignite your motivation. Consistency thrives on systems. Here's how to create one. Automate where possible. Automate savings, investments, or reminders so you don't have to rely on willpower. Accountability partners. Share your goals with someone who can keep you on track. Routine audits. Regularly review your habits and make adjustments to keep them effective and realistic. Pick one habit you want to build and commit to it for 30 days. Keep it small, something you can realistically achieve every day. Use a habit tracker to monitor your progress and reward yourself for milestones. Because here's the truth, consistency is a skill, not a talent. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And once you master it, the results will speak for themselves. Chapter 8. Designing your micro-move blueprint. Imagine having a personalized roadmap to success, a blueprint that doesn't overwhelm you with drastic changes but instead guides you step by step, one micro-move at a time. The best part? This blueprint is entirely your own, designed around your goals, values, and lifestyle. Let's create it together. Consider a house being built brick by brick. Without a plan, you risk wasting time and resources. But with a clear blueprint, each brick contributes to a structure that's both solid and purposeful. Your micro-moves are the bricks, and this chapter will help you design the plan that turns those small actions into monumental outcomes. Step 1. Define your vision. Before you can map out your micro-moves, you need to know where you're headed. Start by asking, what does success look like for you? Is it financial freedom, better relationships, personal growth, or all three? What specific goals do you want to achieve in the next 1, 5, or 10 years? Write down your answers. This vision will serve as your guiding star. Step 2. Identify your starting point. You can't move forward without understanding where you are today. Conduct a quick self-assessment. Financial health. What's your current income, savings, debt, and spending habits? Relationships. How strong are your personal and professional connections? Personal growth. What skills or knowledge do you want to develop? Being honest about your starting point allows you to design realistic and impactful micro-moves. Step 3. Break down big goals into micro-moves. Large goals often feel overwhelming, but breaking them into micro-moves makes them manageable. Here's how. 1. Financial example. Big goal. Save $10,000 in 2 years. Micro-moves. Save $5 daily, review spending weekly, and negotiate a raise. 2. Relationship example. Big goal. Strengthen personal connections. Micro-moves. Send one thank you message weekly, schedule monthly catch-ups, and actively listen during conversations. 3. Personal growth example. Big goal. Learn a new language in a year. Micro moves. Practice for 15 minutes daily. Use language apps and join a weekly conversation group. Step 4. Build systems for consistency. Consistency is the backbone of your blueprint. Here's how to create systems that make success inevitable. Automation. Use apps to automate savings, reminders, or learning schedules. Habit anchors. Pair new habits with existing routines. For example, review your finances during morning coffee. Accountability. Share your goals with a friend or mentor who can keep you on track. Step 5. Measure progress and adjust. Your blueprint isn't set in stone, it's a living document. Regularly evaluate your progress and make adjustments as needed. Weekly check-ins. Reflect on what's working and what's not. Celebrate wins. Acknowledge even the smallest milestones to stay motivated. If a strategy isn't effective, tweak it. Progress is about flexibility, not perfection. Carla, a graphic designer, dreamed of starting her own business but felt overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. Instead of diving headfirst, she designed a blueprint of micro moves. She started by dedicating 20 minutes each evening to learning about business planning. After 3 months, she began reaching out to potential clients, 1 email a day. A year later, Carla had built a full roster of clients and quit her day job. Carla's story illustrates the power of breaking big goals into small, consistent actions, supported by a clear blueprint. When your micro moves align with your vision, the compounding effect becomes unstoppable. Every action you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. This alignment reduces overwhelm and builds confidence, showing you that progress is not only possible but inevitable. It's time to design your micro move blueprint. 1. Write down one big goal for each area of your life: financial, relationships, and personal growth. 2. Break each goal into micro moves you can take daily or weekly. 3. Set up systems to stay consistent. 4. Track your progress and adjust as needed. Because here's the truth: the future you dream of isn't built overnight, it's built one small move at a time. And now, with your blueprint in hand, you're ready to start building. Final words. The journey to transformation doesn't begin with massive leaps or perfect conditions, it begins with one small step. Each micro move you make, no matter how small, is a promise to yourself, a quiet declaration that your goals and dreams matter. As you go forward, remember this: consistency beats intensity, and progress beats perfection. Success isn't built in a day, it's crafted in the everyday. So take that first step, celebrate every win, and trust in the power of small actions to create a life of purpose, abundance, and meaning. The path is yours. Start walking it today. Because even the smallest move can spark the biggest change. Take care and be well.